There will be several situations where you will need your EC2 instance to be able to connect to another service. For example, you may want to save data to a storage service, or you may want to save information to a database. So, there are a couple of ways to do that. The first is what we call access keys. Access keys are configured on the EC2 instance. This is secret information that is stored in the instance's file system. Now, the access keys are actually associated with a user account, and the user account has a policy. Therefore, it has some permissions assigned to it. The access keys will pick up the permissions that the policy allows the user, and then the EC2 instance that uses the permissions assigned to the user account can connect, in this case, to a storage service. That's how it works, but there is a slight downside. The downside is that the access keys are stored in the instance's file system, and it's not a very secure way to store that information. So, if the instance is compromised, it is possible for an attacker to gain access to that information. In the next lesson, you will see a practice run, and I will demonstrate how accessible this information is. Now, there is another way. The other way is when we use something called instance profile. The instance profile is a way that we can attach an IAM role to our EC2 instance. So, in this case, the instance has an IAM role attached to it. Then, the EC2 instance assumes that role and will get access to the permissions that the policy attached to the role provides, and then it can access the S3 bucket. The great thing about this is that there are no credentials stored on the EC2 instance. The EC2 instance has assumed the role and has been granted the permissions assigned to that role, but it doesn't actually have credentials stored on its file system. So, this can be a much more secure way to allow your EC2 instance to access AWS services. And in the next lesson, we'll see this in action.